Smith, 48 years old, born, raised, Ellicott City, Maryland, general contractor.
So my name's Scott Riley. I'm 26 years old. I'm a graduate student in the UMBC chemistry department, and I like playing Magic the Gathering and video games, and I don't like long walks on the beach.
I was 29, 30 years old when this incident, however you want to refer to it, happened.
Well, I was diagnosed when I was 14 years old, and the symptoms for the disease had been there for probably about a year prior to that.
Working with a fellow contractor, uh, horribly hot conditions that day. 99 was the outside temperature, but working in an unventilated building for the first 4 or 5 hours that day. Starting to feel the pressure around lunchtime. We went to go eat. Bad idea on a hot day anyway, which I have since never eaten lunch on a hot day. Curled up under a tree, had something to eat, and started to feel the effects.
I had Hodgkin's lymphoma, level 3B. My initial reaction to finding out what the diagnosis was overall a sense of relief. This disease had been eating away at me for over a year, and there were lots of doctors saying, well, it could be this, it could be that, and I was getting worse as time progressed. Just hearing that somebody knew what it was and there was a way to cure it was more relieving than anything else.
Tingling, loss of breath, a little bit of posturing, and a little bit of panic. And the pins and needles effect in the fingers. Pinky started first. A little bit of atrophy was the word that they used. And these fingers started to draw back. Toes started to curl and said, I need emergency room. I need a hospital. I need something. Right before I arrived at the emergency room, there was it's tough. There was a moment right before. I mean, I recognized the area because I was like, get closer, get closer, get closer. And I knew I was close to the hospital, but a sudden like calm came over everything in my head. My body was a disaster. I mean, I was knotted up and freaking out, but everything went to, it's okay. It'll be all right. Let go. I snapped. And it was right as we pulled up to the doors. Now I'm fighting harder than ever. I mean, that was difficult. That was really, really difficult.
The thing that was on the forefront of my mind almost every day during the treatments was, how am I going to make it through the day? Because the treatment process is very long and it's very difficult to think about the finish line when it's over a year away. So every day I just woke up and wanted to know, how am I going to make it through the next 24 hours so that I can make it through the next 24 hours. So what really kept me going was support. It's funny how we have all this modern medicine that can take away pain and can dull your emotions, and you can get all this delicious food and great treatment and care. But at the end of the day, what I felt was the most uplifting thing was people being around me. The worst and most difficult parts of the treatment were isolation, because then all you have is your thoughts and the pain. So I never actually really came to terms with the thought of dying. I mean, it was brought up several times to me, but I, it was never in my mind an option. I felt deep down inside that I knew I was going to survive this, and that all I had to do was just keep waking up every day and trying.
They talk about, your life flashing before your eyes like a movie. not like a movie. It's more like a slideshow. It had no rhyme, no reason, no order. Christmas, definitely. There was a lot of memories and just things, and no white lights and angels and weird shit. It was just, I don't know, just, I guess, a lot of things pulled from the past that, I don't know, your brain does weird things when you're in a situation like this, like a panic mode.
I had a lot of unfulfilled goals when I was dealing with cancer. A few regrets, but as time goes on, I realized that those regrets were um, momentary regrets. What really upset me about being diagnosed with cancer was if I did die, there were things that I wanted to do that I hadn't done because I was at such a young age.
I thought I was way too young to go. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was over. I think I was upset that, well, I didn't get to, what do they call it, finish the race, so to speak. Does that make sense? It was tough.
So the change in mindset from going from if I die to when I die generally comes towards the end of the treatment. And that's because you've been doing it for so long, you actually start to wonder if you're going to make it or if you want to make it. I think about my mortality very differently now, actually. I had all these goals when I was 14. I had plans to get a house and have a wife and do all these things in a very chronological and time oriented sequence. But after I was diagnosed and treated, I started to look at my mortality as this gift that I'm never going to get again. So rather than treating it as some rigid, structured, chronological sequence of events, I've become much more laid back and I truly try to enjoy every day.
We're all going to go eventually. We're all going to go. Is it something that I'm afraid of? No. There was a great quote. I can't believe I'm quoting. I can't believe I'm quoting Marilyn Manson. But the quote is, and it's very poignant: without the threat of death, there is no reason to live at all. As twisted as that sounds, I love the guy. I think I think he's amazing, especially as a musician. But without the threat of death, there is no reason to live at all. I think it's fantastic.